Hey everyone, Ryan Peterson, avid bicyclist and senior planner for Epstein, working on a couple bike plans in the region, and just happy to be talking with all of you today. And I will pass it to Helen Miller.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm a planner with the city of Joliet. And I guess Elliot?
Thanks, Helen. Elliot Rosson. I'm in Highland Park. I'm on the Highland Park Transportation Advisory Group and the Bike Walk Group, and I'm on the board of Active Transportation Alliance. And I'm going to pass it to Peggy.
Hi, here, I'm going to start my video here just so you know I'm a real person. I'm here, and so is Chad. There's Chad. I should stop. Anyway, the background is blurred, so you didn't see Chad. So we're having lunch, and that's why we're off camera, but we're eager to get all of the updates, and glad to see so many familiar faces. So we'll be having more information to share later. I'll kick it over to our neighbor, Ben Harris, neighbor in Skokie.
Hi, this is Ben. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm with the Skokie Bike Network and also going to be doing some work with the Ride Illinois, the state advocacy group. And I also attended the Movers and Shakers ATA event. It was great. I'll throw it to Joanne Spitz.
Hi, I am with the Batavia Active Transportation Advisory Commission. Used to be the Batavia Bicycle Commission. They recently changed it. I'm not sure who hasn't spoken. Brad Olson? I don't know.
Brad, are you there?
The purple Great Place.
Oh, I think someone is maybe unmuted, but let's see. I can pass it to someone. How about Steve?
Sorry.
No problem.
Steve Johnson with the East Branch DuPage River Trail. I live in Glen Ellen. I work in Carroll Stream. Just married someone in Evanston, but I get around. Who's left?
Hi there, can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's Brad.
Brad.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead, Brad.
I was trying to get unmuted before and the pop-up came up, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, hi, I'm Brad Olson from the Park Ridge Sustainability Commission, where part of our purview is to do bike and pedestrian stuff out in Park Ridge. And it's a pleasure to meet you all and to join the call today.
Great, and I'll pass it on because I know it looks like you're on the phone. So how about Sally?
Hi, I'm Sally Bound. I live in Chicago. I am a commuter by bike and anything alternative. I'm a good friend of Dave Simmons. I connected with him through some working bike events things, and I'm connected with one of the major Taylor cycling groups here on the south side of Chicago. And I've been wanting to get more involved with Active Transportation Alliance and thought I'd jump on the Suburban call, and looking forward to the city advocacy call coming up in a month or so too. So it's just great to connect with everybody. Thank you.
Great, welcome. And how about Kevin?
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin. I am the village planner for Bensonville. Just happy to be on this call. Thank you.
All right, Valerie?
Hi, everybody. This is my first call. I'm Valerie Kramer. I just started a new group called Ride Riverside, where I live in Riverside.
Great. No, I'm so excited. I just heard about your group and that you guys have some events planned.
Yeah, we just had one. We had a good turnout. Our first one.
How many people?
Close to 40.
Nice. That's awesome.
Storming, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, congrats. Here, I'll pass it. Who else hasn't gone? How about Andrew? Well, maybe we can't hear you, Andrew, so I'll turn it over to Mikey.
Thanks, Maggie. This is Mikey Swire. I live in Streamwood. I volunteer with Bike Peloton Club. Friends of Cycling Elk Grove, trying to do some volunteering biking with the Streamwood Park District. I'm a Ride Illinois rat and an LCI. And I will hand it off to Carl.
Hey everyone, Carl Lager. I live in Oak Park and I'm a member of Bike Walk Oak Park.
Great. And I saw that Andrew, oh, sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, how about Sally Brown?
Oh, Sally went.
You did. Huh?
I can
You
help
better
you
put
out because
someone in.
it's always tricky towards the end. Who hasn't gone? But Andrew did message in the chat that he is walking dogs right now, so he can't speak. But how about who else? Agata.
Hi everyone, Agata Drilagata here. I work for CMAP and work for some active transportation projects, but working remotely from this place today. And I will pass the mic on to Maciej.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maciej Osowski, Mount Prospect, community advisor to our public works as we're developing our friendly neighborhood streets plan for better active transit. I'm not actually sure who's left.
Yeah,
Maggie,
I can help. I think Ralph DeFibo. Ralph, can you hear us? I know he's on his phone as well. We can come back to Ralph, but how about Brian?
Hey everyone, Brian Larson. I'm in Arlington Heights. Also don't have, for some reason, camera's not working, so you just get to see this lovely still image of my face. But here in representative capacity from the Northwest Municipal Conference, the Council of Governments that handles a lot of Northern Cook and the surrounding suburbs, we host a bicycle pedestrian committee and transportation committee, and excited to chat with y'all. And looks like, I'm not sure who's left. Alan?
Hi, everyone. My name's Alan. I'm in Villa Park, and I'm on our bike pedestrian subcommittee there. And I'm eating my lunch, so that's why I've got my camera shut off. I don't think any of you guys want to see that.
And then let me see here. Oh, we've got Sarah.
Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Duby Fiorito. I am the new Transportation and Mobility Coordinator for the City of Evanston. I see John Furvoy from Evanston also in the room. And I am very excited to be here to work with you all. I live in the city, but I did grow up over there. And yeah, just excited to collaborate.
Great, glad to have you and glad that Evanston finally has a new planner focused on transportation on board. So great. And John, would you like to go?
Hey, John Furvoy here, Evanston Transit Alliance.
All right, and how about Nicole?
Hello, Nicole Ball. I work for the Illinois Medical District Commission in the near west side of Chicago. And we just announced our bike and pedestrian safety action plan, which some of you may have seen in the news. It got some really good coverage, and now we're just looking to implement the things that came out of that plan.
Great. Kelly?
Did you say Kelly?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, good here. Hi, this is Kelly Morgan. I'm with Elmhurst Bicycle Club in Elmhurst, and also International Women's Day Together We Ride. I'm on the board with that, so we have a lot. And I'm also I was in the past an active trans ambassador. I wear my shirt proudly all the time around. People always ask me about it. So I've been to a few meetings. So just trying to continue pushing safe cycling and getting everyone together. So, and also I'm on the Bike MS committee as well. So I love cycling, as we all do, right?
Yeah. And Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth Adamchuk. Was in the city for many, many years, still involved in advocacy in the city. I lead the Chicago Right of Silence. I'm currently based in the south suburbs and looking forward to participating in any initiatives down here that could benefit from help. I know Homewood's making some really good strides right now. So
And then anyone else who hasn't gone, I'm trying to, it's a long list here. I'm sorry if I missed you. I know Ralph, Ralph, I don't know if you can hear, Ralph DeFibo. I saw you message that you're maybe having some trouble with, the phone system. So sorry if you're struggling to hear. Let's get started. Oh, Amy, I see you here. So why don't we get started with you? Just sharing a bit about the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act in our state work.
Thanks, Maggie, and thanks for spending your lunchtime with us. I'm Amy Reinell, and I'm the Executive Director of Active Transportation Alliance, and we are on the cusp, as in 2 weeks away, from launching a campaign called the Clean and Equitable Transportation Campaign, which is a state policy campaign in partnership with, at this stage, something like 45 other organizations to help collectively move the dial on how transportation resources in Illinois are allocated to sustainable transportation. So we will be having a press conference on April 29th to launch the campaign. And at the same time, we'll be introducing all the legislation. So it's not something that is going to pass this year, or there may not even be opportunities to take action on it this year. But the policies that we're working on are really big, complex, and ambitious. We've written, at this stage, thousands of pages of legislation. So we know it's going to take a while to pass. So we want to get started. So the Clean and Equitable Transportation Act has 3 components. The transportation choices component is really focused on shifting what projects get prioritized for funding out of IDOT and the MPO processes. And the hope there, and with some other work we're doing, is to shift more money into transit, pedestrian, bicycle infrastructure. So we would be doing things like setting a target for GHG, with greenhouse gas emission reductions from transportation in Illinois, and then requiring that IDOT and the MPOs align their policies and project rankings and other things to meet that target. So it's very wonky. I'm happy to get into it with folks at a later time if you want to get into some of the weeds of that policy. But it has been passed in one form or another already in Colorado, Minnesota, and California, and is pending in Maryland and New York. So we're not, making this up from scratch. We're trying to learn from what other states have done. And some really important things have happened as a result. So that's one piece of the puzzle, is using the climate emergency and the really significant portion of it being caused by transportation and shifting that money into clean ways of getting around. The second piece, which I talked about last time I was here, which was a bit ago, and again, happy to come back and talk more about it or come to your groups to talk about it, is transforming public transportation in our region. And actually, we know as cyclists, the more people we can get on transit, the safer our roads are. There's this synergy between our modes and of getting around that's really important. And transit is struggling so much for a host of different reasons. So there will be a series of legislative pieces on transit, but this will be the first piece that we'll be introducing to unify our system. Currently, we have 4 different agencies operating transit. It's not coordinated, and decisions get made that just don't make sense for riders or for employers. So a lot of hard work, about 2 years of work, have gone into these recommendations that are now being translated into legislation. And included in there is a placeholder for adequate funding for public transportation, which is estimated that we need a minimum of $1.5 billion a year more than what we have today to get our transit system back on track, literally, and to start building the innovations around buses and other things that other cities are way ahead of us on that we should have been doing a long time ago. And then the third piece that I won't talk a lot about because it's not what we work on is clean vehicles and incentivizing cleaner trucks, the charging infrastructure, clean vehicles, and different things in Illinois. So it's a package that's really comprehensive around transforming transportation writ large in our state. So look for more to come on that. We'll have a suite of fact sheets and webinars and other things. But as I said, we're also happy to come out and present. And there's going to be a lot, especially on transit, a lot of public input opportunities, including hearings around the region. The towns haven't been settled yet, but there'll be at least 5 of them outside of Cook County. So a lot of opportunities outside of Cook to weigh in, as well as within Cook and Chicago. Anything I missed there, Maggie?
No, I think that was a great overview. I think we just really are looking for building up more support in the suburbs of the Chicagoland region for this. So I know a lot of you here, your passion is walking, biking, but as Amy said, like transit is very much connected to active travel, and what benefits transit also benefits everyone. And a lot of people that you might know, or when you're at a restaurant, at a gas station, people that are serving you, some of those people depend on transit. So just thinking about just the connection you have to transit, and we're also kind of looking, I guess, for ideas from all of you are there any groups that you're aware of in your community or your county that we might reach out to help bring more attention to this package of bills and this idea to really transform our transportation system into a cleaner and healthier system. Yes, anyone have any questions about this? You'll definitely be hearing a lot more about all of this, especially this summer, as we start to try to get lawmakers more knowledgeable about the bill, and as there are, we're hoping there will be public hearings and such. So Ralph, I see you have a question.
Yeah, question for Amy. Is that $1.5 billion just the initial amount, or is it over a period of years?
It is. So I actually did not say the most important word of the 1.5 billion, which is 1.5 billion for operating transit. We also have a gap in transit infrastructure funding and capital. But this is just to operate what we have today pretty much with some improvements. And it will grow over time or change over time as expenses change. So RTA, I've drilled them on this, and they have said they're anticipating fuel costs rising, labor costs rising, those two being the two big things going up. So that 1.5 billion is anticipated to grow as those things grow over time. So the state legislature this summer will be working on identifying funding sources that also grow over time. Because right now we're funding transit through things that don't grow and things that have actually lost value. So we're not funding it in a way that is meeting the needs of the system. So I think it's going to be a really interesting summer as we dig into where does the money come from. Elliot?
Yeah. Hi, Amy. Just quick question. I know we're trying to build alliances around this big campaign. And I think most of us are aware that Lake County just came out with this huge plan that fits like very closely to the same objectives. I'm wondering what the role of counties is in actually supporting this or really being a huge ally.
Yes. So through the process that led to the recommendations, that was spearheaded by CMAP, and they briefed the county board chairs regularly. And some of the county board chairs have been at the press conference. I was a leader of one of the parts, and they were excellent. And I can't remember which counties they were, but I will check, Elliot, to see what Lake County's involvement has been, and get back to you.
Yeah, I've been involved in some of the county stuff that's going on and input, and as an advisor on projects, and I've been really impressed with them and their knowledge.
Okay, good.
Lake County.
Good. And Cook County has also been really strong, and I think there's one other that's been really strong.
Great.
Sarah?
Thank you so much for briefing us on that. Ooh, how do I put that down? I'm just wondering two things. So one, as you guys start gearing up into the campaign, do you have recommendations for how municipalities or just any of these community groups, like what is the formal sign-on mechanism and how can folks get involved? And then something that I've chatted with Maggie about in the past or recently was is there going to be like programming funds that come out of this, especially as it relates to cycling education and traffic safety education in the school system, and also as it relates to transit funding for bike share?
Yes. I'll try to answer them backwards. So we have been including integration with micromobility, bike share, and recommendations around fare coordination. So I had a really strange day last week where I I was racing to a meeting and I hopped on a bus and then realized I couldn't get there directly enough from the bus. So I hopped off the bus, then hopped on the bike share. And I just kept paying and paying and paying to get where I needed to go, which was not that far away, but it was ridiculous. So we did include that. On the bike education stuff, there are pots of money for that already. That Ride Illinois gets it's state funding. It's probably federal funding that comes to the state. So Ride Illinois has taken a lead on applying for those funds and then redistributing them out. So they would be a better person to just speak to what's possible now within what we have and what we need. So we can ask Dave.
And I guess some other ways to get involved.
Oh, get involved. Yeah, sorry, I missed that one.
I don't know, Amy, any thoughts about how like a municipality could get involved?
Yeah, I think. Can I get back to you on that? I think there's probably a few creative ways to do it. But that's not the part that I'm leading on. So I want to connect with the folks that are.
Yeah, it's a good question. And just like for individuals, just our kind of the list is meeting with your state lawmakers. And we do have so, you know, Amy said, what is it? April 29th is the press conference where all of this is going to be kind of more publicly released. And there will be more information about it. And so there will be fact sheets. There will be bill numbers. There will just be a lot more information. So that, you know, after then, like meeting with your state representative or state senator, just to make sure they're aware of it, to, you know, talk through any questions they have, I think would be a big help. And we had so, you know, we have the Street Team Advocate program that you're all, of course, very welcome to join. But we had a few weeks ago, we had a call with our lobbyist, John Amdor, who's, you know, kind of, he just has a lot of insights and knowledge about how to advocate successfully in Springfield and how to, you know, get to know your elected officials and, you know, encourage them to lean into a certain direction. So I can send out that call we had with him where he gave just a lot of thoughts and ideas around meeting with elected officials. So and then again, like Amy, so this summer there will be subject matter hearings. Could you speak a little bit about that, and if you think people could get involved in those?
So there's two different sets of public engagement opportunities that are being planned for the summer and fall. One is specific to transit, and that'll be subject matter hearings hosted by the Senate. And that's going to roam around the region and probably have some different topics in different areas of the region. But it'll be really important for people to turn out to those, both to learn about what's being debated, but also to weigh in. And then our group of community organizations and partners will be holding probably more intimate, what we're calling listen, lead, share sessions, where we can come out and hold a really in-depth conversation with folks about what would any of these policies mean in your community or in your life, and getting to the heart of the policies and the potential impact to make sure that we are writing the policies in the way that's really going to trickle down to benefit communities. So we want another layer of input on those since we're just getting started on all this. So more community focused meetings. There are some that are already planned with churches and community groups and some of the like Sierra Club members and others. So, and we're helping lead some of those. So we're happy to come out with any group and do that as well.
All right. Any other questions for Amy? We have her. All right. Well, thanks.
Thank you all for taking action on the speed limit, by the way. We're waiting to hear back from the senator's staff about how far we're going to make it this year. So
Amy,
the representative staff.
do we have any updates now? So you all may have seen an email or a few emails from us recently about the state speed limit bill to reduce the default speed limit from 30 to 20 miles per hour. And any updates about the latest hearing?
I'm waiting to hear back.
Oh,
so
okay, I see.
So we shall see.
Okay, so no news yet.
No news yet, but a very impressive turnout by you all. We had about 1,000 people from really diverse communities and roles within our communities weighing in about the need for safer streets. So very much appreciated.
Amy, can you clarify exactly what happened and where it is in the process and what might happen next?
So the lead sponsor of the bill is Representative Cam Buckner, and he's in leadership within the House. So he has some tools available to him that as a leader. So he's been able to keep this bill alive, even though it hasn't yet come to votes. So today it was supposed to go to a vote. So just waiting to hear back from him if it got called for a vote. So if it gets out of committee, then it'll go to the whole House for a vote. And if the House passes it, it'll move over to the Senate. This has been a really hard thing to change. And I've worked on a lot of really hard things in Springfield, including, criminal justice stuff and other things on the state budget. And I've never felt more beat up than I did on trying to lower the speed limit. So, yeah, so we're maintaining some hope because we're getting so many people to take action, and that does make a difference. So we're maintaining some hope, but it's, my guess would be it's something more likely that we can gear up again next year and have some different people leading it. But we'll see.
There's a lot of resistance.
Yes.
Ralph?
Yeah. Yeah, Amy, on that same topic, isn't there some type of a national campaign called 20 is Plenty? Isn't it being done in other states as well?
Other cities have lowered speed limits. Not a lot of states have gone to 20. It's urban area speed limits, by the way. It's not like our highways or, our busier roads. So it is being done in other places, but it's much more adopted in Europe and much newer here.
All right, well, thank you.
But this is a priority of the League of American Bicyclists after a lot of pressure from us and others saying these are really, really hard battles and we need more national groups helping us. Even though it's a local policy, having signals from the national groups is really helpful. Peggy?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I looked at the blog post and I'm already anticipating how difficult a sell lowering the speed limit will be to somebody who's not engaged in our world as much. And have you found, or is there some resource you can direct me to that would help with the argument about why, a more general argument? I was dismayed to no end because I filed witness slips whenever the occasion arose. And I also looked to see who else files witness slips. And although this person did not file it on behalf of the Village of Niles, one of our village engineers filed a witness slip as an opponent. And so I feel like there's a big gap to jump over to get broad public support. And I just wanted to know more about technical resources so I could explain it, because everybody will think immediately like, oh, I can't get to where I'm going.
So there's not a great resource on this unless you want to read, you know, the research, but there's a group of us that are have been prepped to do a hearing on lowering speed limits in city council, and it's a quote unquote panel of experts. So we were supposed to do that last week and it got postponed because the committee before us did not end. It's probably still going on. It went on so long. So we are now tentatively rescheduled for May 1st, and it will be all the data and arguments about why to lower speed limits. So I'll find out if that's going to be recorded. And I can certainly share my slides with you, Peggy, on what I'm presenting, but I'm the cleanup batter. So I have this like list of gaps I'm filling. So my presentation isn't all the arguments, but there's one that's really important and maybe why an engineer might oppose lowering speed limits, which is the posted speed of a roadway informs how that roadway is designed. So if we lower the posted speed of that roadway, the roadways should be designed differently. So there might just be a lot of hesitation around how does that happen and who's responsible for what and who's paying for what. But it is a really important reason to lower the speed limits because we are currently designing our roadways in high density areas for 30 miles an hour. So that's why they're so wide. That's why people can go 45 miles an hour and other things. So I think meeting with an engineer, probably, Maggie, we could think about who we'd want in a meeting like that, because those are our hardest meetings.
And I think part of the problem is to have people understand how it would work in implementation, because I went in and I read the bill and I couldn't understand it. So, you know, in layperson's term, what does that mean for the arterials that are IDOT controlled that run through a suburb? Does that mean that the default is 20 and that then they have to go through some action to change that default? Or, you know, I think it's the implications of it that I need. Because the research is clear, you know, we know that lower speeds save lives, but people want to know how it's going to impact their daily life.
Definitely.
And Mache?
So, in Mount Prospect, as we're working on creating better, safe, and neighborhood-friendly streets, which I will put in the draft from January into the chat, which has been published. One of our main goals is to be lowering village streets to 20 from 30 currently. There's basically the basic data in the original draft, which is in there. But yeah, we're looking at resources from European and North American studies about lowering speed limits. We're also looking into lane reduction without repaving, which actually means that we are going to be building out our bike lane infrastructure, which in 2011 was basically a bike map with wayfinding into actual physical bike lanes. And we're also are going to be doing curb cutouts. So I know we're looking statewide with speed reduction, of course, but there are definitely village level things that we can do as well, as long as you get the Public Works Department on board, which fortunately in Mount Prospect, almost everybody has read my lengthy list of recommended books, and they're all for it. So yeah, slowly but surely, it's getting there. As we all know, bureaucracy takes a long time, especially when people would like to see safety studies and things like this as well. So,
yes.
Yeah, but
Good
that
job.
as a
That's
resource
amazing.
in the chat. Yeah, in the chat we have our draft from January, and we're kind of working on all the public comment things right now. So hopefully in the next month we'll have another draft and revision of this.
And Chicago's been doing something similar when they're adding bike lanes and changing some of the streets. They're lowering speed limits where they can. So some streets are already lowered. I have to run to my 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Don't hesitate to reach out to Maggie or I for more info.
Yeah, thank you, Amy, for stopping
Great to
by.
see you guys. Thank you. Bye.
And yeah, no, good questions from all of you. I think we'll try to keep providing more resources to all of you to like help make the case for these ideas. And Peggy, I think those are really good points about like how does the implementation actually work? But okay, so I know we only have 20 minutes or so left. So a few other announcements before we open it up to all of you for anything you wanted to bring up. One kind of related to what we were just talking about, and I can't remember, it might have come up already and I just missed it, but Lobby Day. So there is a Lobby Day coming up in Springfield on May 9th, which I believe is a Thursday. And the Illinois Environmental Council is organizing this, and we're a partner as a part of this. And it would be amazing if some of you are able to join, but I know it's like during the day, during the, some of you are working. But it's buses are going to be leaving from several areas around Chicagoland region going to Springfield like early in the morning. And then we'll be in Springfield for a few hours, and you'll be meeting with your representative, your senator as well. And there will also be a rally. And it's kind of showing the more people that are there, the better, because it just shows this presence. Like, we care about climate change, we care about transportation, like, please, take action. And then I think the buses are returning. They're like leaving around 2 o'clock that afternoon back to your destination. So you'll be back probably around 5. But I will make sure to send the link to register, how to register for that. It's free to attend. So if you're interested in getting involved in state policy work, we'd love to have you join. And I just registered too. So I will be there. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of that opportunity. And then I also wanted to mention Bike Month. So Bike Month is coming up in May. So it's our month to be, getting people excited about biking for the season. And there's just a few things I wanted to make sure you're aware of. One, we've got a stipend available for $150 for anyone that, or we're going to be giving 10 to 15 stipends away. So it's an application, but it's a simple application if you're interested in organizing some type of event or activity, and you're looking and you need some, just a little bit of funding to help you with that event. It's something to look to for just helping you get that event organized. But of course, you can still organize something without that stipend. So we do have a link of like a lot of different ideas of things you can do. Like it could just be like encouraging your village or city to declare through proclamation that May is Bike Month. It could be, I know Ralph, in Palestine, you've organized with your local library, and they set out books about biking and resources at the library. So it could be something like that. It could be organizing a community ride. I know a lot of you already do this in your communities. And if you do have some type of event planned in May, please share it with me or put it in the chat right now, because we want to also, get the word out to even more people if you're interested in that. So we can, put it on our website, share it out on social media, through email. So we'd love to get the word out about your events you're organizing. And then just, I guess one other thing is Bike the Drive registration will be opening in May as well. So we'd love to have you join Bike the Drive this year, which is on September 1st. And one other thing I wanted to mention, so later this summer, we're also hoping to organize a Suburban Summit. So basically a bike walk every town summit. We did this before the pandemic, where we brought people together in person for advocacy training, discussions, just connecting in person. So we're planning to do this again. but I wanted to send out a survey just to get kind of your input on what should this summit look like? What would be interesting? What content or topics would be interesting to discuss, to hear about? So I'm going to send that out and would love for anyone who has any input to share your thoughts. So that is it for me. And I know I do have a handful of updates from Dave. I don't think Dave has stopped by, has he? I haven't been paying attention to the list, but I will share some updates from Dave, maybe toward like at the very end in case he does show up. So anyone here, do you have anything you wanted to share with the group? Any questions you have? Any initiatives you're working on that you'd like people to be aware of?
Maggie, I'd like to share that as part of the Northwest Municipal Conference's multimodal plan that was created back in 2020, we created a series of basically flashcards on street intervention projects communities can apply to their local areas. And so if anyone is interested in those, I can share those out as we have a PDF that you can print out. We are looking to I'm working to get it onto our website so they can be accessible that way too. But we'd love to share our resources so folks can have an easy visualization, as well as cost comparisons or time to complete comparisons for these kinds of projects that a community can put into place.
That sounds great. No, please share that. That would be, I think, a useful resource to a lot of communities. Is it like a visual of what the project type is, and then just more details about?
Yeah, it's so I'll see if I can just pop it into the chat right now. But yeah, it's basically on one side is the visualization, and on the other side is a description of the type of the intervention. It's comparative cost on. Sorry, you can't see my hands. I'm talking to kind of its comparison in terms of like on a scale like 1 to 10, both in terms of like how long it will take, how much does it cost, and then also where can you apply it in terms of types of streets.
Great. Yeah, that would be, we would love to share that resource out. So it sounds very useful. Thanks, Brian. Brad, I see your hand is raised, and then Sarah.
Hi there. I just wanted to give you a really quick update that we are going to run a series of community bike rides again this year on Park Ridge, and I will send you the dates since you asked about that. And that we are on the hook to proclaim Bike Month in May again this year.
Great. That's fantastic. And if you're not aware of this bike proclamation idea, so we do have a template and some examples. I think we have an example from Palatine as well that I'll make sure to share out, so you could basically just copy that proclamation and send it to maybe a city council member, a village trustee, to be like, hey, why don't we declare May as Bike Month, and just get that thought, that idea in the heads of your elected officials and staff. And then a lot of communities, like a lot more recently, have been actually organizing events, community events during the month of May. So it's great to hear what's going on in Park Ridge. So Sarah, I saw your hand was raised.
Yes, I just wanted to ask if there's any templates or frameworks that for folks in the Chicago region for like Bike to School Week and stuff like that. We definitely want to do some coordinated stuff in Evanston that I'll be coordinating. But yeah, I just came into the role, don't know what's possible to make happen for this year. So just wanted to see if there's any resources available for folks publicly. And also as food for thought for everyone in the call, we are going to be looking at piloting some bike education stuff in the Evanston school system. So let's all continue speaking about that too.
Definitely. Actually, here, want to open it up. Does anyone have any useful resources for Bike to School Week or Bike to School Day? It looks like Alan shared a link here. walkbiketoschool.org. I know, Dave Simmons, he probably has some good resources as well. Like we usually direct people to the national, what is it? The National Partnership for Safe Routes to School, or and they do have some resources there, which you're probably familiar with already. But yeah, anyone else have any resources they use for is it Sarah, are you looking for like promoting bike to school, or just what you can give to schools?
I think because I've seen that in the city of Vancouver, in that region, it's a very coordinated thing. Like bike to school and bike to work week are like a very coordinated regional thing. So I was just curious if there was any of that happening in the Chicago region, and just like to kind of tie in and to what folks are working on already. Or yeah, I mean, really any resources, templates. Looks like there's some good stuff on that website. But also if there's kind of formal timelines that a lot of different municipalities are referencing in the Chicago region, that would be awesome to do something coordinated, because obviously a lot of people move between municipalities for work. And yeah, just wanted to see if there was a kind of a coordinated initiative around here at all for that.
Sarah, I'll connect you to Schaumburg because their Department of Transportation handles the Bike to School Day organization with the local school districts. And so we can have you talk with them over there. That would be probably the best resource for kind of interagency collaboration, especially.
I know Evanston usually has a walk or roll to school week or day. I guess it was just a day. I don't really remember where the district started with that, or where that information resides now.
It is National Bike and Roll to School Day on May 8th this year. So I think we often, when people ask about it, we point them towards the national day of celebration. So it would be May 8th and encourage that day. But I would say like coordination beyond that is probably lacking, like regionally. But Kelly, do you have any thoughts about this?
I know we're trying to work with our PTAs in the Elmhurst area to try to organize. So we've been working with that. And I know we take the information from Right Illinois. So that's about all I have. But I was just going to add too that Elmhurst also has a bike safety day coming up that's the city's putting on. And I'm trying to get to the information here. You see, it is in Armeline Moretti, one of our advocacy people so it's Sunday, May 5th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Elmhurst Bicycle Club's going to help lead rides down the Prairie Path. So it's family orientated. So we're going to, and the city always does a great job with goodies, and the police are well represented, as well as the fire department. So it's, we've been doing it the past few years. So, but it's a great event to right before that. So maybe we can even get some bike and roll going with that too, to get people talking about school rides.
Yeah, totally. I think it makes a lot of sense to coordinate it, especially if your event is happening right before.
Right. So I'll make sure we get that added to it as well. So thank you.
Great. Anything else? Anyone? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm with the Batavia Bike Commission. And as soon as the registration opens for bike and roll or walk and roll to school, we send it to all the principals and the PTOs. And then we also help coordinate who wants police and fire to come in the morning. We got a proclamation done this, thanks to Ralph. We did our proclamation on Tuesday night at City Hall. We tried to get a library display, but the library doesn't have enough books on biking. So maybe next year. Our commission is ordering new yard signs for the schools and getting stickers made, so parents know it's that day. Some of the schools have bought bikes to do a giveaway and raffles. We're working with Northwestern to get helmets to the schools. Illinois has a lot of free information, so we've ordered some of that. And a long time ago, we actually developed bike education programs for the PE teachers by grade. So they do that every year, and we ask them to do that prior to the walk and roll to school day. And hopefully this summer we will do a rodeo, either on our own or with Northwestern Hospital.
Great. You guys do a lot in Batavia.
Yeah.
I know you guys are often a great example to look towards for like all of the things you can do with
Yeah,
your schools.
most of the schools and the PTOs are really very supportive. So
Great.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Joanne. Sarah, does that kind of help you get started? And it seems like maybe some chatting more with maybe Batavia, Schaumburg, Elmhurst might be helpful as well.
Yeah, thank you. And Joanna, I would love to I'm going to put my email in the chat. I would love to learn more
Okay.
about the curriculum that you guys
Sure.
have developed. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Ralph and wait, before you go, Kelly, did you have anything more to add, or is your hand just leftover hand raised?
Leftover hand, sorry, I'll
Okay.
take it down.
Okay, no
Forgot to
problem.
take it down.
Ralph.
Yeah, Mikey Swire, who's also with our Bike Peloton Club, has been working really hard to get our smart cycling class done. I think it's the only one in May in the state of Illinois. So it's coming up also in National Bike Month on May 19th, open to club members and non-club members. I believe our instructor is from the Elmhurst Bike Club. So that's coming up on May 19th. I've already seen it out on the league website. And then registration is through the Bike Palatine Club events. So just want to make sure people knew about that. If they have people interested in riding safely, this would be, one of the first classes in Illinois this year. We do it every other year, every even numbered year. So just a plug.
Great, thanks, Ralph. And on a separate topic, actually, Ryan, I'm wondering if I could put you on the spot about the countywide safety action plans, if you have any more updates on that, and if those have launched or are launching this month.
Yeah, so they are well underway. Most are in the process of picking steering committee members, which consist of advocacies, groups, municipalities, law enforcement, health departments, things like that. DuPage County is going very quickly along. They're trying to go just quickly. And the rest of the counties, they're not lagging behind by any means, but they're just a little bit further ahead. You should start to see some emails, advertisements, social media posts in the coming weeks, probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, about how to get involved and be engaged with those safety plans. So all the counties are doing them in the Chicagoland region.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I think once we do hear about the opportunities to provide input, we'll make sure to share those out. But I'm always worried. I'm like, am I missing it? But okay, sounds like it's still it's coming.
Yeah.
Chances to give input. All right. If you have anything else you wanted to share with the group, feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat. But while you're thinking about this, I just want to read out a few of Dave's updates. So it sounds like his rural road summit was too engaging to walk away from. So Dave says, so this Saturday they have their Ride Illinois annual member meeting. They have there is a youth bike summit planned in Pennsylvania this year, but Ride Illinois is planning to attend and spread the word, and you can contact Dave if you're curious about that. And maybe that's something that Illinois will have in the future. We'll see. So next year in April 2nd to 3rd, Ride Illinois is working on a statewide summit, maybe called the Bike Walk Healthy Community Summit. They're still trying to figure out the title, but save the date for April 2nd and 3rd for statewide walking and biking summit. He has a few notes here about advocacy. So he's mentioned this in past calls, but Ride Illinois has a state and federal bill tracker that tracks current legislation. So make sure to send that link out. Their ride guide is available for 2024. And they also, on their blog, it looks like they have a recap of the National Bike Summit, which was that last month? Was that in March? That Dave went to. I think maybe some of you were there as well. And let's see, education wise, he said the bike safety quiz that Ride Illinois runs, they have that mini grant program for, you can get $2 for every student who takes the quiz. They're back on track to meet their goal of getting 65,000 students across the state to complete the quiz for this year, which is exciting, for the school year. And then he said league cycling instructor seminar is planned in Normal for this fall. And oh, and then also the bike safety quiz. If you're hosting some event, and actually this is a great idea for Bike Month. They now have PDFs of, it's a 1-page quiz that you could bring to an event, especially if you think, actually the bike safety quiz is not only, I was thinking, oh, if like youth are going to be there, but it's for everyone. So I think for any event related to cycling, there's a 1-page quiz now available in both English and Spanish. And it looks like you can request those materials from Ride Illinois if you're interested. And then there's also some campaigns that Dave has spoken about in the past, but they have the I Can Bike There campaign. It's going strong, and you can share your story about how you got somewhere by bike. And there's a raffle for completing a form, and they have a safety campaign that's running on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn this summer, June through September. And also they are working on they're joining a Families for Safer Streets cohort. And a training is beginning in early May. And I think we'll have to get more details from Dave next time about what that means. So those are the updates from Dave. I see we have 1 minute left. So I'll make sure to follow up with all of you with some of the resources that were mentioned today. If anyone has anything else, feel free to speak up. But yeah, I think we can wrap up. So yeah, it was great to see you all here again today, and we'll plan another Suburban Advocacy call for June. But you can, so just to warn you, expect probably during the month of May, especially, you might be getting a lot of emails from me about the state bill work. Just there might be a lot of, action alerts, opportunities to fill out witness slips. So just be prepared for a flurry of emails, but after May, it'll probably quiet down. But anyway, thank you guys again for being here, and hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. And
You too. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Maggie.
Bye.
Take care.
Maggie.